Hi there, welcome back. We're on box 2 of the recent Breyer collection that I purchased. Box 1 was nice, but nothing thrilling, so we'll find out if maybe we can find something exciting in this box. It's very flat. I can't believe she fit this many horses in this box, but okay, we'll move on. We have a Shetland pony. This was my favorite back in the day. He reminded me of a book called Doodlebug that was my favorite. In the black and white pinto, pretty nice condition. Interesting note about the Shetland pony mold, he has his Breyer mold mark on his belly. It's the only one I know of that has that. Then we have a Breyer Western pony, very played with, very poor condition. An old horse, certainly, but definitely body or play with quality. And then we have a running foal in bay. Nice, nothing too exciting. Good condition though, so that's nice. This was actually the horse that caused me a question when I first saw. Like I said, it was a bad picture. They were just all sprawled out on a blanket. And the way she was laying, she looked like she had a really odd blanket pattern. Misty of Chincoteague was produced in a myriad of blanket of the same Misty of Chincoteague. They just changed up her pinto pattern many times, but this is one of the more common ones. That's okay though, she's in nice condition and she's very cute. Do we have a Stormy? I don't see her foal. This is the lying down foal in black Appaloosa, black blanket Appaloosa, has a big rub on his belly there. And then we have a Western Prancer in smoke, not quite dark enough for charcoal. Decent condition, but he's missing his reins and his saddle. I like him, he's one of my favorite molds. We have another Western pony. This one is the Palomino, also very rubbed. At least she has her original reins, and they're pretty easy to put back together again, but she did originally come with a Western saddle. Pretty old horse though. What else do we got? Oh, this is interesting. This is a repaint, unsigned, of the classic quarter horse stallion, and I laugh because this looks almost identical to my only repaint, which is on the classic quarter horse stallion, also in bay. This one has probably a little bit more detail than mine, but he's kind of cute. And then we have another classic. This is the Thoroughbred Swaps. For some reason I get the Thoroughbreds confused, but I think this is Swaps in the regular run chestnut. And we have another, I think this is the Terang. He seems like he has some shading on him. They're just all very, very dirty, so they're all going to require a bath. He seems like he's in decent condition. Just a nice regular run. Originally a Marine Love sculpture from Hagen Renneker, produced in plastic by Breyer. And excellent conformation, excellent show horses. I can't believe she fit this in here, but there is a jumper with base. This is like the most valuable piece of the jumper because they almost always lose their bases. But he actually does have his base, and he is in pretty nice condition. He has got, spit is the best cleaner. He's got some marks on him, but they look like they're tape, like that'll come up pretty easy. So I think he's actually in good condition, and he's pretty nicely shaded. So with his jump, he is definitely a cool piece. I'll leave him. We got, oh, bummer. We got a Western Prancer, and he's got a leg broken off, and he has an ear chip. So he has his reins though, and this is one of the more rare colors. Unfortunately, it's his up leg, so you don't have to be quite as good when you're fixing his leg, because it's not a support leg. This is what happens when you throw them all in a box. Another Shetland pony in bay. Remember that last collection I bought? He was a chalky. I think it was the last collection. I don't think he is. It's hard to tell sometimes. but he looks like he's just a regular bay Shetland pony. We're getting down to some smaller ones. Now this guy's interesting. He is the donkey in Battleship Gray, and this is literally the most Battleship Gray donkey I've ever seen in my life. I think the paint is so thick, it's thicker than the plastic. You almost can't even see any mold detail on him because this paint is so thick. He's not in the best of condition, but he'd be worthwhile for a collector who collected this mold, just because he's such an oddity. I don't think I've ever seen one like that before. We have this little metal guy. I think these guys were in a little barn set, if I remember right. They're fairly new. These guys are interesting. These are metal, and they are made by Durham Industries, made in Hong Kong. They're copies of the Breyer Thoroughbred mare, and they're fairly collectible. People like them. This one is in a very interesting yellowy bay, and this is a black. So whenever you see one of these, pick them up and check them, because if they're in ceramic, they're Hagen-Renaker and worth quite a bit. If they're plastic, they're Breyers, and then if they're metal, they're these Durham guys. So that's one of the, a couple of the different stablemates were made by these guys. Now this is a classic quarter horse foal. Oh, now he is a chalky, and he is in very nice condition for a chalky. He is in the original Palomino, and they are fairly scarce to find in chalky, and especially coming out of this box with no wrapping, he survived very well. I think one of these guys actually champed at Nan a couple of years ago. It was either the Palomino or the black in chalky. So this is really nice. I think with just a little bit of cleaning up, he would be show quality. So this is the nicest thing out of the box so far. And then we've got, oh, these are both plastic stablemates. Ay, Dios mío. Okay, so this is the Saddlebred, and actually this is Dapple Gray. He was only produced for a very short time in Dapple Gray, and I'm sure you can't see it on video. When you first pick him up, I went, oh my gosh, wow, because he's very dark on his mane and tail and hooves, but once you see him in person and look, he has been enhanced. So whoever owned this at some point decided to paint his mane, tail, and hooves black. So this is aftermarket. This is a very collectible mold in this mold period, but in the gray dapple color, and his gray dapple is in good condition. So if I did these kind of things, I would definitely take off that paint because he is quite collectible. And then potentially the most collectible horse in the box. This is the stablemate quarter horse mare, also one of the Hagen-Renaker original molds, and she has been customized. She's been customized to an interesting kind of a black pinto, and this mold was produced for a very short period of time. Can't find them. So even the mold as a body generally is pretty valuable. So again, if I had some less oil on hand, I would definitely soak her and get that paint off of her and see what's underneath. I'd keep my fingers crossed. She looks like she's intact, no breaks. So I would definitely take that custom old paint job off and see what I had underneath. So a mixed bag, but that chalky quarter horse foal is awesome. There was definitely more interest in this box, but they will get washed and they will get wrapped individually and stored a little nicer than in a flat box. So you never know what you're going to find on Craigslist, but I think overall this was a pretty nice box. So I'll keep my fingers crossed. I'll see if I get some more boxes soon. Thank you.